Yo, the PTR server just updated and they haven't even sent the new units yet to the account. So I'm just gonna see the values real quick. First thing I want to see is Ggez. What kind of leader skill that she has. If it's 35% speed lead for PvP, then that's a little bit troublesome. Let's see, increase. Okay, it's good. Okay. It's a Sonic Miracle. It's for PvE, which is very good. Traces and clues. This is the anomaly, if I'm not mistaken. So they've also added the PvE captain ability to include that one as well. I don't think this is in the live server, and I don't think they mentioned it in the patch notes. So they've added a few stuff. They've added rival runes. They've added the ascension phase, and yeah, now you can just see what type of relics they give her. So they give her wind set avatara for rival runes. Let's take a look at the resonance or the ascension. She gets accuracy, speed, and attack. Very good. And then this is her, let's see, this is her S3. Gains 9 stacks of funeral rites at the start of combat. What the hell? When any ally takes lethal damage, consume 1. What? 9 stacks? What? No, that makes no sense. This is way too much. I thought she was just gonna start off with like 3 stacks or something, or 4 stacks, because that way then all of your allies can get like 1 revive, and then that's it, right? But 9 stacks? What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, we already know what her skills do. Let's take a look at the values for the puppet art. Resist minus 100%. Resist was already pretty useless in PvP, because if you have like 80% accuracy, then your resist will be pretty much 0. It's as though you have like the base resistance if the enemy has 80% accuracy, right? But this one, now you don't even need to build your units with accuracy. You can just run her with the puppet art, and then she will apply this minus 100% resist. And then also miss rate minus 100% when taking hits. So type disadvantage, you no longer care anymore. All of your units will do non-miss rate on the enemy that has puppet art. Very good. Even if your allies have the miss rate debuff, I think it should also go through the miss rate debuff. I'll test this out later. Okay, this part right here, damage taken plus 20%. It was a typo in the patch notes. In the patch note, they said damage taken reduced or something. I can already tell that she has a very good potential for PvE, because this puppet art is going to be sort of like a pseudo seer debuff, which is very good, and it lasts for 2 turns as well. And the carrier gains taunt for 1 turn at the start. Okay. Funeral rites is damage plus 5% per stack. The funeral rites is only applied to her, so this damage stacking will only apply to her. But the second part right here, when ally attacks, each stack deals true damage, and the true damage is based on her attack, right? 15%. This is to all of your allies. She's a very good unit already. Just from this buffs and debuffs alone, this puppet art will make her very useful for PvE, even bossing contents. The damage taken increase, and then also the funeral rites, while also protecting your allies from dying. She also adds more damage to your allies. So yeah, a very good unit. Let's take a look at her cooldowns. Her cooldown is a 4-turn cooldown on her S3. That's also very good. Multiplier is not that high, 200%, but I don't think it's gonna be but I don't think she's gonna be doing that much damage anyways. She's mostly there to provide the debuffs and buffs. She also has speed scaling, 1% of her speed. Wait. If it's 1-to-1 speed, then if you build her with at least like 200%, 200 speed, this skill already does 400% multiplier. Okay, my bad. She actually does very good damage as well. S3 is attacks only 3 times. Damage per hit is 15% of attack, so 45% of attack. And then with each speed, you gain 0.08% of attack. 60% chance of inflicting defense down. Also very good, because it's a 3 hit with a 60% chance of defense down. And then deals extra damage to enemies with puppet art. Extra damage is equals to 30% of her attack. So it's doing 75% of attack if the enemy has puppet art, plus the added speed scaling that you have on her. And then passive. When taking ability damage from the targets with puppet art, counterattacks the attacker and deals 50% of damage taken and extra true damage. True damage is 75% of her attack, and Ggez is immune to ability effects inflicted by enemies with the puppet art. If an enemy makes an ally's puppet art and early, that enemy gains puppet art for 2 turns. On a 3-turn cooldown, very good. Her S1 is 100% of scaling and 33% of speed scaling, and if the enemy has puppet art, she absorbs 30% AP. Yeah, she's a very good unit. I can already tell. In Forbiter, she's going to be very good because she has AP absorb as well, and then you're also going to give damage taken to your allies while also giving additional attack damage from this funeral rites, right? So I'm definitely going to, I mean, she's a free to play unit. You should be able to get her from the event, the Celestial Anomaly, but we don't know how many resonance yet. Her Divinate is, after enemy is afflicted with puppet art, takes an action, the barrier's AP plus 20%. Okay. Also a pretty good Divinate. If you have her at R6 and she puts the puppet art to every one of the enemies, then she will get like 20% AP per enemy, right? So she's gonna get like 100% AP, which is pretty insane. Let's take a look at resonance, if any of it is changed. When an ally consumes funeral rites, stacks, counter attacks the attacker with bewitching spell. Okay, that's the same. Inflicts puppet art, consumes. Okay, the resonance is the same. Yeah, very good unit. I will test her out once they give out the copy in the PTR server. The next unit we'll see, I think it's a flow. Yeah, Visor. Visor also has a speed lead. Okay, I think he's going to be also for PvE as well. Same speed lead as Ggez. 35% in PvE. His S1 inflicts sleep for 1 turn, and the assist is 100% chance. Very good. His S2 is on a 3-turn cooldown. Puts the enemy to sleep for 2 turns. Okay, very good. I think he's already going to be a must-have if you want to really push up your Forbiter score by, you know, a lot, because he's already like a better version of Elaine. 2-turn sleep on his S2 and S3, while also having the same amount of cooldown, and also giving your allies attack up, and this added effect on her on his S2, right? The Apotropaic effect. So it deals extra damage to enemies with sleep debuff. Extra damage is equals to 5% of its max HP. Cannot trigger a miss, crit, or elemental boon. So okay, this is going to be way weaker than what Fusi is going to be adding to your team, because Fusi's additional damage can crit, which is why you see Fusi doing more damage than your DPS, and that's the reason why you build your Fusi with crit damage, right? But with this guy, you mainly just want to focus on HP so that you can add more damage to your Apotropaic effect. So I think his build is going to be speed, HP, and speed or something like that, and give him a lot of accuracy so he can land the sleeps on Forbiter reliably. And then also, this is new. This ability's cooldown is not affected by any abilities. It says 2. Attack up, and the new buff is also up for 2 turns, right? It's S3. Let's take a look at the Ascension real quick. Attacks all enemy 3 times. Damage per hit is 30% of attack. Okay, he's not going to be doing damage. He's mostly just there for support. Each hit has a 75% chance of defense down. Already a very good chance to defense down. I think it goes up to 100%. We'll take a look real quick. And applies sleep for 2 turns. This is AoE. Grants all allies crit damage for 2 turns. And on a 4-turn cooldown. Very good. 2-turn sleep. And also defense break AoE. His other ascension is HP, accuracy, and speed. Very good. And okay, it doesn't go up. The defense break chance doesn't go up. But 75% for 3 hits is already very good. It's one of the best defense breaker that we have. And then his Divinate is, after casting Anathema, that is his S3, the barrier has 100% chance of dispelling 1 buff from the target. Alright. Not that crazy of a Divinate. Don't really need to get his Divinate for him to function properly. Rival runes, they gave him okay. They gave him War Set. War Set, this guy. Again, I'm going to be skipping him because he's mainly just going to be used for Forbiter. I'll try him out in Forbiter in the PTR server, maybe in a couple of days to see, you know, maybe he can really ramp up the score by an insane amount, which I think he is going to be able to because he's kind of like Elaine, but just way better, right? With the added damage and the amount of buffs that he provides to your team. But again, it's only just for Forbiter. I don't see him being useful for the other two bosses. And if you're a new player, then he's going to be pretty useful for you in towers and stuff like that. Oh, forgot to show you the Divinate, or not Divinate, the Resonance. Resonance 2 is after casting blah blah blah. Resets the cooldown for... Oh my god! What? Wait, did I not read his Resonance 2 in the patch notes? What? Huh? After casting Boundless Grace... Wait... No way, bruh. Okay, now it changes a little bit. I'm gonna have to take a look at the flow roster real quick after this. But this is insane. Resets the cooldown for all flow espers. It completely resets it. What the hell? Okay, they definitely changed this R2, I think. After casting Anathema, Uran gains a bonus turn. Okay, so if you... I think, okay, at this point, if you have him at R6, he might be good for all three bosses. But only at R6. Because at R6, he's going to be spamming his S2 and S3. And he's going to be cooldown resetting the ability 3 of Flow Espers. Let's check real quick the Flow Espers. If we have any, you know, good nukers in the Flow. Okay, never mind. We don't have that many good Flow Esper nukers. I mean, Liam is good, but Liam's S3 cannot be affected by any cooldown abilities. Okay, Hilda, you're not really gonna want to spam her S3 that much unless it's like in PvP. Valeria is whatever. If you don't have a Resonance, she's pretty mid. Ethan's S3, you don't really want to cooldown reduce it. Leon is nice in PvP mostly. Intisar, it's whatever. She's already gonna be spamming her S3 quite often if you have her R2. Fatum Sisters is whatever. Leora is... I mean, Leora's pretty good. He might be good for a good pairing with Leora because then Leora can spam her S3 much more often. Zora is whatever. Ollie, okay. Ollie can start spamming his S3 as well. That's good. Sally is whatever. Biodina, Ggez, his S3 cannot be cooldown reduced, so it's not gonna work on Ggez. TA is whatever. Donna is also... Donna is actually pretty good because he will cast his S2 passive as well, right? So right now the roster for Flow Espers is mostly not that good for bossing contest. So maybe even if you have him at R2, I don't think he's gonna be that good for the other bosses. Just for Forbiter, pretty much. And yeah, that's it for the new 5 stars. Let's take a look at the new 4-star real quick. Yushu, Jingwei. Rival runes real quick is Hades, okay, not bad. And counter attack, very good. Ascension is accuracy, defense, and crit rate, okay. The S1 is now attacks one enemy 3 times and also inflicts sear. Her S3 is attacks all enemies 2 times, damage per hit is 38%, up to 50% of her defense. The fewer the targets, the higher the damage, okay. Then inflicts taunt for 1 turn. Okay, this wasn't added in the patch notes, I don't think. This is extra, the taunt. And then the passive at the end of her turn, if she has at least 3 buffs, flourishes cooldown -1 turn. If she has at least 5 buffs, her basic ability damage plus 10% up to 50%. Okay. Okay, she's gonna be spamming her S1 quite a fair bit. And then her passive is gains shield at the, for 1 turn at the start of an enemy turn. Shield strength is 300% of defense, okay? Each time after Yushu takes hits, inflicts usurp on the target for 1 turn. Usurp is 1 buff of the carrier will be stolen when attacked by Yushu. Alright. S1 is attacks one enemy 3 times. Damage is 10% of attack and 38% of defense. How much is that? 120, 114, about 114 defense base, right? Or am I... Yeah, it's about 114% defense, scaling, plus 10% of attack. That's already pretty good, because she also increases her attack ability with her passive right here. And then her Divinate is, when the barrier's HP is full, Feather Blade's damage is plus 15%. Feather Blade is her S1, I think. Yeah, her Divinate is a must-have as well, because she is an S1 spammer unit because of her resonance. So her resonance is, this one is whatever, ignores resist. Her R6 is after an ally actively attacks, if she has at least 3 buffs, she performs a pursuit attack with her basic ability. Okay, this unit is going to be very good for speed running stuff, because she only needs 3 buffs to start pursuing with her attack. If you build her with the light set, that's 1 buff. You run her with R2 Ethan, that's another buff, and that R2 Ethan has a shield or adamantine set, that's 3 buffs on her. And then when your allies attack, it doesn't say spam S1 or whatever, it just says that if an ally actively attacks, so whether they cast their S3 or S2 or S1, whatever it is, right? As long as they are actively attacking, it wouldn't proc on Vatara or something like that. If they actively attack, she will pursuit attack with her basic ability, and her basic ability has Seer debuff. I'm gonna go in depth on this unit specifically in one video, because now we have a unit that can proc Seer debuff that doesn't include her turn. She doesn't need to take a turn to apply the Seer debuff. It might be a possible 3-turn APAP incoming because of this. Like I said, right, with Fusi's release, 3 turns of Ritual Miracle is getting pretty close, and with this unit's release, I think it's possible already. We'll have to see. I might be able to try it on my main account, but that's gonna require me to get her to R6 first. Again, a very good unit, very good free-to-play unit. I think she's gonna be pretty good for PvP, not meta, but in PvE, she might even be good for bossing contents because she has a pursuit mechanic that also does pretty good damage as well, right? She amplifies her basic ability damage by up to 50%. So yeah, all of these units are very good. I'm kind of surprised on this guy's Resonance 2, they did change it, I think, to reset ability cooldown of Flow Espers, but again, the Flow Espers roster doesn't have that good of a DPS for bossing contents. Ggez doesn't work with this guy, right? And also, Daji, her multipliers looks insane as well. It's basically an added Seer debuff on her Puppet art, but the problem is that her Puppet art only, she only lands the Puppet art on her S3, right? So you kind of want to build her very fast and apply to land the Puppet art constantly, so that your entire team can benefit from the damage taken plus 20%. And yeah, very good units all around. Let's take a look at some of the events that are live right now. Okay, I don't think none of the events are up right now. Once they send the units in my mailbox in the PTR server, I'm gonna do some testing on them. And yeah, ciao.